Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. In today's video it's week 5 and we're going to have a look at our garden progress. So we only planted some stuff throughout the week, so nothing has sprouted yet in these two garden bed boxes. They were only planted a few days ago. As you can see here, we're really starting to see a lot of weeds and everything pop through. Just in the last week or so, we've seen some really cold and wet and windy weather. As you can see, that's just allowed all the weeds to just start sprouting up through the garden. When we get a bit of time, we'll go through and we'll weed them by hand. But as you can see, everything's starting to come along. So through here, the carrots were the last things to sort of start and sprout, but as you can sort of see, we can see a lot of the carrots sprouting there. We still got a few clusters through here. So this is the Brussels sprouts. That is the cauliflower, carrots and broccoli. As you can see here, the seedlings, they're doing quite well. They're doing all right for themselves. And with the spinach here, you can see that these smaller outer leaves are starting to wilt and die off, but then all the other spinach leaves are starting to grow and sprout now, which is good. And the snow peas are doing very well. So eventually we're going to do a frame or something here and then start to build that up, just so all the shoots just don't get intertangled with each other and we can see that just to sprout up. So one of the last little additions that we're going to do to the veggie garden is a compost bin. So just over here in the corner, we've made a little bit of space here for it, and shortly we're going to start pulling the pallets apart and start constructing that. Now this here is quite a big area for it, and we've chosen this area because they say that it should be away from the house as far as possible, because with all the rotting and everything decomposing in there, you don't want that next to a dwelling. The further away is what's preferred. So that's why we've chosen this corner here for it. Now what we're going to do with the compost bin, now as I've been doing a bit of research about it, just like what you guys would be doing, just looking at some videos on YouTube, there's two types of compost bin. There's one big batch, or as you go, or a layered one. So what we're going to be looking at is a layered one. I don't have that much garden scraps and everything ready to go to do one big one. Sort of as we get scraps as we go, we're just going to chuck it in there and then we're just going to get that compost out over time. So guys, right now we're heading down to the hardware store. We're going to pick up some supplies so we can do that restoration on that old bench. So now that we're finished in the hardware store, we've just picked up some paint and some sandpaper. And now we're heading home. So guys, the plan is to pull this whole thing apart. I'm going to replace these broken slats here and then take all this out, give it a good paint, and then put it all back together. So this here is the bench all pulled apart. So these are the side bits. Here's the center bit. There's all the brackets and the screws and nuts and stuff. And these are the little slats here that we're going to replace. All right, so now I'm going to clean all this up and I'm going to give them a paint, and then I'm going to work on replacing these. So that there's the first coat on the back. In a little while we'll turn it over and do the front and then give it a second coat after that. So this little piece here I'm going to be keeping and reusing, so I'm just going to sand that back and then just give it a quick spray of some varnish. So now it's time to prep the seat boards, the ones that I've made. But these ones are a little bit thicker than the last one, so I'm gonna have to cut out a little notch there so it just slides in, and then drill holes in them. And then give them a good sand down just so they're not so square. So I've quickly just put this together, just done a little bit of a dry fit, just to see if all the boards and everything are gonna fit, and I don't need to make any other adjustments before I start to sand and clean these down and then give them a stain like I've done to this part here. And at the moment it looks like everything's looking pretty good. So now I'm going to pull this apart again and then get to work on these boards here. So guys, if we have a look at what I actually spent in this episode, I'm not actually going to add the total to the series total because restoring this bench doesn't really fit in with the gardening and what we're going to accomplish here. But for the sake of this video, we'll just go over how long it took us and how many dollars we spent. So in total, I spent $24.10, but really in the scheme of things, I only used 1 can of paint and 1 packet of sandpaper, and I bought 2 of each, so I really didn't need all that extra, so I could have easily halved that. Now in the way of time, I worked on it over 3 afternoons, so in total roughly about 6 hours worth of work, which wasn't too bad considering how good it came out. So guys, now we've just finished the bench and we've just put it in our garden, and if we have a look over here, the girls finally get to enjoy the bench. So guys, what do you reckon? What do you think of the bench?
Good.
What about you, Emmy? What are you doing? Okay.
And there's also animals back here. Yeah, so there's tigers, elephants, there's a lion, and there's a tree, and there's everything.
Everything?
Well, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye. Bye. Whoa.
Sitting down, please.
Like and
next to Hannah.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye. Bye.
Alright, that was a practice run. Now we're going for real.
Oh. Emily did something.
Yeah, Emily's always going to do something. Alright, 3, 2, 1, go.